Back at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Baseball tonight coming up next. And, of course, tomorrow night it's the Cubs and the Cardinals. There's some good rivalries there. If it was racing, that'd be some rubbing, wouldn't it? Cardinals and the Cubs. Lou Piniella in his final year as a manager of the Cubs. The Detroit Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays on Monday night. Some great baseball action coming your way on ESPN. Well, we've had some great action tonight here at O'Reilly Raceway Park as well. We've had a couple of slower pit stops. The 99 of Trevor Bayne. You guys see a little hang up here on the 99?
Let's take a look at this. Right front's looking good so far. Oh, it's slow in the right front. Looks like he's having a problem right there. Okay, the problem in the right front for Trevor Bayne. That's what it was. Just a little slow, guys.
Well, we're getting ready to go back green here, and you see Kyle Busch. He's the leader on the outside. Ron Hornaday on the inside. The restart is underway, and Busch jumps out in front.
These are two of the best in the business at restarts. Ron Hornaday and Kyle Busch.
The 88 of Eric Almirola slips into that third spot with Keselowski and Trevor Bayne chasing. There's Carl Edwards getting back up into the mix. Edwards has just been lurking a little bit tonight. He started 42nd and came through to win last year. Didn't have to start that far back tonight, but he's not been running up in the front either.
And these guys are aggressive on these restarts. I saw a lot of cars really using the apron up. Crash.
Big contact in turn one.
Jason Keller, I see in it. 43 car Kevin Swindell.
Looks like Swindell's got the worst of it as Keller is able to drive away. Heavy damage there for Swindell, the son of three-time World of Outlaws champ Sammy Swindell. There's the damage on the Keller car, fairly significant.
Vince, I would never say that I told you so, but
but you're going to tell us that you told us so.
No, I didn't. But I mean, every race on the short track, we see these tensions start to heat up, and here we are, lap 128. And it's starting. I'm starting to see a sense of urgency. A lot of these drivers saw them on the apron already a little while ago. Watched a couple of cars go down and touch the grass, getting into turn one. Let's take a look at his replays and see what we can see happen to Kevin Swindell and Keller.
Going to see it out of the front end of Brian Scott here, and Scott's got a good view of it. Looks like maybe Swindell got into Keller a little bit and then just drove it in on him. Looks some sparks underneath.
They got together off of 4, and I think the 43 actually had a right front go down going into turn 1.
Because you see the sparks coming out of the back end when we saw that replay out of the view of Brian Scott.
Yeah, it appears to me as though either that he got on the brake really hard, but the problem appeared to be on corner entry.
Well, this yellow is a good break for the 9 cars that took the wave around on that previous yellow. They're going to have an opportunity to get some service. But bad news for Jason Keller. He goes to the garage. Kyle Busch still leads. Great racing everywhere you turn in Indianapolis this weekend. Of course, the Brickyard 400 tomorrow at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And tonight, it's a NASCAR Nationwide Series action here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. There's the 18 of the car of Kyle Busch. He's the leader, but maybe a problem. Let's go to Mike Massaro and check it out. Mike?
Yeah, Vince, it sounds like there's a lot of concern here in the 18 camp. Just as that caution flag waved, Kyle radioed in to Jason Radcliffe saying, "You won't believe this, but I think I have a loose wheel." Now, Radcliffe polled his team, asking the tire changers what they thought. He told Kyle that they felt pretty confident they got all the lug nuts tight. Asked him how confident he is that the tire or the wheel is loose. He said it really feels that way. Radcliffe has 4 tires ready to be bolted on that race car, but he's leaving the decision in the hands of his driver whether or not he wants to relinquish the lead and come down pit road.
What do you do, Rusty?
Well, they got to look at the replay tapes on their pit stop and see if there's anything looks funny right there. And then if it does, maybe if the left front, right rear, whatever, then they need to isolate that one. But that's a scary problem right now.
Well, we're going to find out pretty quickly. We're about ready to go back green on the restart. There's Busch, the leader, on the outside, and Ron Hornaday runs along the inside. The green flag waves, and we're back at it at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Trevor Bayne coming around the outside, trying to sneak up on the side of the 33, and that's Eric Almirola following the first 3 up front.
If this race comes down to a 20-lap sprint, the 99 car looks like the car to beat. He's very fast on the short run.
Yeah, Trevor, it really gets to go on a short one, but you see,
Contact between Hornaday and Busch.
You got to remember one thing. Hornaday ran this race last night. He knows what this track's going to do. It's going to tighten up or what's going to happen. And I will promise you, Ron Hornaday is not scared of anybody. He'll drive the wheels off this thing.
Well, it looked like Hornaday was so preoccupied with holding back the 99, he got into the 18. Now Trevor Bayne tries to go underneath Hornaday this time as they charge down into turn 1.
It looks like the 33 got some damage out of that. His right front fender is pushed in considerably, Rusty. That's not going to help.
Absolutely. That 33's got the right front fender caved in a little bit. Now, I don't know if it's going to affect it a whole lot, but any front end damage, okay.
Rubbing doors again along the backstretch. The 99 and the 33. Trevor Bayne, the pole sitter in the 99. Ron Hornaday won the truck race last night. He's in the 33. Hornaday trying to hold him off. Rick DeBrule on the 99.
Yeah, during the last pit stop, they made some changes. He was concerned because it was loose in and loose out. During that last yellow, he radioed back to the crew. He said, I think we've got it. I think it's a little tight in the center, but he thinks that they did the right job. It's interesting. When you talk with Trevor Bayne, sometimes it's easy to forget he's just 19 years old. And the way he's entered this race, looking at last year's race, he says he's learned a lot, and he was ready to put it to good use.
That's a great point, Rick. He sure isn't looking like a 19-year-old with only a handful of races under his belt. He's mixing it up with the best, handling himself well. You can tell the car is loose because you can see him get real light getting in the corner. You know, the back of the car getting light or getting out from underneath him.
Hornaday's led 55, or excuse me, Bayne has led 55 laps tonight, but as Bayne and the 33 of Hornaday battle, Kyle Busch stretches it out a little, and now we've got Almirola in 4th, Keselowski in 5th, and there's Carl Edwards in 6th.
And you know how I see this, guys? I see this as an opportunity for the 22 and the 60 to gain credibility with one another. We can talk about where does this end forever until the cows come home. It ends when these two decide it ends.
Well, you knew sooner or later they're going to have to catch each other during the racing and have to race each other. It took a long time for Carl to get to Brad, but now he's there. Let's see what happens. And Carl's just working the bottom of this racetrack, and you see Brad up top holding their own lanes, but Carl's had a good car. It's took a long time to get his car handled right, but I believe he's there now, guys.
They raced side by side for several laps early in the race, and both raced one another very cleanly. And now as the race starts getting into that second half, in fact, almost 3/4 of the way through, we'll see if it gets a little tighter.
Yeah, an opportunity to prove to one another that you can race each other without taking advantage of one another, and at one of the most difficult tracks on the schedule.
Kyle Busch has opened up that lead a little bit more now, almost a second and a half, with Ron Hornaday second, and then 2/10 behind Hornaday is Bayne. A little further back is Bayne. Now we've got contact between the 21 and the 05. Morgan Shepherd involved in this one. David Starr in the 05.
You know what, guys, this is a perfect opportunity to come down to right side tires in this thing. If your car's not right, you got to adjust it again. I don't believe I do forward in this one, Ricky. It's getting late in the event, and they haven't run long enough, so if anybody makes pit stops, 2 tires are probably going to be the right call.
So the question is, back to Kyle Busch, how concerned is he? Did that dissipate?
Mike, has Kyle Busch changed his mind? Does he think the wheels are on nice and snug?
Well, Vince, we haven't heard him say anything about the wheel being loose since that last caution time. One thing he did say, however, after Ron Hornaday got into the side of him, got a little bit anxious. He said to his team, he said, have left sides ready. I think I might have cut a tire down. Well, they've run several laps since then. Jason Ratcliffe looked at the tire through his spotter and told Kyle that it looks like it's still up. So it doesn't look like there's much concern on the left tire, but certainly a lot on the mind of Kyle Busch right now.
I'll tell you, take a look at the right front fender, though, Ron Hornaday. That's my concern right there. I mean, you get that fender bent in, it makes the car not handle too good. And it's awful close to that tire, Ricky. I mean, it's not rubbing on the track, but boy, it looks like it could here.
Yeah, and 2 things that come to mind. First, what did it do to the car? Did it affect the car?
Here's what brought out the caution from just a moment ago. There's Starr up high, and Morgan Shepherd looks like maybe just got caught up in it.
Yeah, that tire came apart. You saw the tire separate. Nothing Morgan could do.
Yeah, David Starr looks like the tire just evidently had some contact. Starr did. and you saw the tire actually come off the wheel, get into turn 1 for David Starr, and that was his problem.
And low air pressure can do that.
Absolutely can, yeah. You can roll a tire right off the bead and have a problem.